welcome to the Southwestern PA Business Podcast. I'm Mandy Pryor, and we have a very exciting guest on today. We're going to be talking to Vitalant and learning about what the need is for blood in our area and what you can do to help. So without further ado, we're going to welcome Sydnee. Welcome, Sydnee. How are you today?
Great. How are you?
Good. Thanks so much for coming on. Long-time member, long-time nonprofit that's been around for how long? Do you have any idea?
No, I don't.
A long time.
Yes, a long time.
A long time. And you're out there and you're trying to help. So tell me a little bit about you and your role with Vitalant.
I am an account manager. It's my job to find people to host blood drives, essentially. I like to say people with big hearts and big spaces to host blood drives. And I cover Washington and Greene counties. And that's it. My job is to find blood drives and then to get people to come to them and donate.
And why did you choose this job? What makes you so passionate about what you do?
I am a lifelong donor, and I was actually sitting and donating, and there was a little sign there with these job opportunities. I could do that. And I was friends with somebody who did that, so talked to him, had the interview.
And here you are today.
And here I am.
Helping so many people, but not enough people, right? Right. So tell me a little bit about Vitalant, how it works, and what you guys are looking for.
Vitalant in the Pittsburgh region serves about 50 hospitals in Western PA, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Ohio. It's a lot of hospitals and it's a lot of blood. And we pretty much are on target to not meet the need. And that's sad. It's really sad. We've been that way since prior to the pandemic. So before the pandemic, before I was hired, because I was hired a month before the world shut down, but prior to then, apparently people came out in droves to donate, and now they don't. They're not coming out, they're not donating, and our blood inventories are.
And do you have any idea why they're not coming out?
Goodness,
Is
if
there
I knew.
Many different reasons?
I think so. A lot of it is prior to the pandemic, we used to have a lot of blood drives in businesses, right? In the offices. Yeah. Well, you know what happened to that. Nobody's. A lot of
people aren't in offices.
Yeah, aren't there. And so we lost that. And then with the schools, with the pandemic affecting schools, when they came back, for some reason, they're not coming out in the high schools either. And I don't know if it's a new batch of kids, because what I keep hearing from them is they're afraid of needles.
Well, and I think that's everybody who donates blood.
Just look away. It's easy for me to say, just don't look.
Well, and I've had 2 children, so like once you go through that, you're like, oh, I don't care, whatever. Like I was poked and prodded so many times, you're just like, it's fine. But I will say, there is a difference in the person who is handling putting the needle in, right? There is really excellent people who you don't even feel it go in, and then there's people who aren't so good. I would say my experiences with Vitalant, they've been like saints. Yes. They know where to find it. They put the needle in, very little minimal pain. You lay back and lounge, get your little snack. And whatever other little special treat that they're giving out that day. So it's
right. If you come in and you say, I'm really nervous, I've never donated before, that's good. Tell them, and they'll take extra special care of you.
Yeah. And it's like, think of it as like a spa day for the work day. You get to get out of work for an hour, do something good, promote your business when you're there. Say, our business is really behind supporting Vitalant in the blood bank. So that we can help everybody around here. I mean, it's a dire need. It's something that's not going to go away. People need blood, and getting your business to get behind it, support it, is huge.
Yes.
And promoting that, saying our business went there today, and we are supporting this.
Here's a fact that I like to share when I give presentations. I don't know of any other activity that an average person, like we're all average people, right? We're not EMTs, we're not doctors, nurses. Average person can do in an hour's time that can save up to 3 lives. Right. Up to 3 lives with one simple donation. And here's the reason why. When you make that simple 1 pint donation of blood, it goes back into the lab and they separate into the 3 components: plasma, platelets, and red blood cells. And each one of them has a different need. serves a different purpose. So it could go to 3 different people, and 3 different people are saved. And here's something else. Plasma goes to burn victims, right? You know when you hear those horrific stories of house fires, and burn victims need plasma, and platelets go to chemo patients, right? Everybody knows somebody who's been affected by cancer in some way, right? And when people have chemo, it destroys their platelets. So that's where platelets go. And the red blood cells go to trauma patients. It's what's on the life flights for trauma patients, surgeries, and what people don't always know is that babies, pediatrics, and moms
Don't
getting
say
burned.
the babies.
It's
No, we have to give blood. They're going to baby. I mean, everybody else is very important as well.
But you don't know that, right? You don't
heartstrings.
think about that unless you know somebody who was affected by that. But those red blood cells are what's going to those moms and babies.
And saving lives.
Absolutely.
Just by sitting around, you know.
Yeah.
Very mellow. It's a very mellow, if you haven't done it, it's very quiet and mellow, and you're just relaxed. I mean, honestly, after you get past just them putting the needle in,
Right.
it's easy peasy. You're
Yeah.
just relaxing.
It's about 8 minutes.
And you get a cookie.
You can have as many
have a lot of
snacks.
cookies.
You can have as many snacks as you want. You can have cookies. We've got salty things, sweet things, juices. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always up for snacks. I can't help myself. So we're also here with Hannah. She is our intern this semester, and she's coming from University of Pittsburgh. So Hannah, do you have any questions for Sydnee?
Yes, of course I do. I just want to know, was there like a particular story from Vitalant in your personal experience or that you've heard that you think is just awe-inspiring and just really moves you and reminds you of the important work you're doing every day?
There's so many. Oh my goodness. We have a lot of replenishment drives, which means that somebody's taken a lot of blood, and so therefore their families or somebody has a blood drive in their honor or to celebrate them, to give back. And there's one that I do every year, and it's in Peters Township, and it's for a little girl. Her name is Madalena, and she needed blood.
I'm so sorry.
God bless you. She needed blood right after she was born. And I don't remember the details for how long she needed it, but it's such a beautiful family. And every year, the day before Thanksgiving, they have a blood drive to celebrate her and to give back. And every year it gets bigger.
That's very sweet.
It's so, it's an honor to be a part of something like that. And there's so many of those stories.
Wow, that's incredible.
I don't know what's happening. I'm sorry.
You're okay. Yeah. I know, like, part of my personal story when I first donated blood was back in 2018, 2019. And I was a junior in high school, and they were doing the blood drive hosted by Vitalant at my high school. And I remember I went in, I did the event, and what was just incredible about it is that it happened the week after the Squirrel Hill shooting. And so a lot of us students, we felt like we had a purpose or something to do, and so a lot of us
And
came
you're
out
so
in
close to
droves.
that area as well.
Yeah, a lot of our classmates knew people who were involved in the shooting and the absolute devastation. We hosted fundraisers. We were trying to get everybody to donate as much as possible, and it was just an incredible moment to recognize that, like, when tragedy happens, you see everyone start to donate. And I remember watching the news, and you would have the lines of people who were going, I believe, to Heinz Field just to donate after that tragedy. And then I remember the year after, I ended up donating again and again, and I was just completely remembering that moment of, like, well, I am saving at least 3 people's lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what was your experience when you donated? Because I think that's one of the most important things. It's like, how did it feel to you?
Well, for starters, I absolutely hate needles. Literally, I panic and I start to freak out. But because I know how important it is, so I kind of just like took that moment to sit back in my chair and was just like, okay, go, tell me on 3. I don't want to know. I'm not even going to look at
I
it.
can't look, yeah.
And then the person I had was so good. Like, I swear to God, she was probably a vampire, to be honest. She was like, oh, your blood is so good. Oh, you got nice, big, juicy veins. And I was like, oh my God, thank you.
Did you go home and tell all your friends, hey, I have really nice
I
juicy
got some
veins?
juicy veins right
Yeah,
here.
I'm a pipe, essentially. And I just sat back. She stuck it in on 3. And I just was like, oh, I have a needle in me. Okay. And then she just pulled it out and it was perfect. And then I sat in a circle with a bunch of my friends and we're all like snacking on Pop-Tarts and Doritos. And it was fantastic. Absolutely loved it.
And you know what? There's a little trick. If you drink a whole lot of water beforehand and you're nice and hydrated, it goes faster.
That's true. I learned that for my second time and I was done instantly. And they were like, oh, you're so good. Mind if we do a second?
You're a fast bleeder.
Right. I'm always chugging water, so that wouldn't be any issue for me.
Yeah. But I don't know. But I have another question for you. What was the specific moment that, obviously you were a donator for a very long time, but was there like a particular moment that you were just like, I absolutely do have to do this? Like I need to get involved in the blood bank.
Yeah, when I was donating, or no, wait, I was in the interview station, right? So I was just asked, I was being asked questions. Maybe she was taking my pulse or whatever. And I saw that flyer on the wall. And wait, I can do this. I can do this. I feel really good about it. I donate blood all of the time. And so it was just, you know, do you believe that things happen for a reason?
Absolutely.
That was there for a reason. And I sat in that chair and looked at that because I was meant to see it.
That's incredible. And how easy is it for other people to transition if they're interested in joining a blood bank? Like what's that process like? Do you need to have like other experience, like being a former nurse, or is it just like ordinary people that can just go and join?
I am so glad you asked that because like everybody else, it seems, in the country, we have a staffing shortage. We always need phlebotomists. And that's part of the reason why we're in a blood shortage is because in addition to people not donating, we need staff. Yeah. And so if you need blood but you don't have staff, that doesn't work out very well, right? So we need phlebotomists and we'll do the training. You don't have to have any specific background training. Just the personality, right? The personality of people.
Yeah, be kind, empathetic.
Yeah,
and
they're right, and they have a passion for what they do. They know that what they do is saving lives. At times too, we need drivers. You know, we have a couple of blood mobiles, but not enough drivers. So drivers and phlebotomists.
Driving phlebotomists, even that would be great too. What is it?
CDL.
CDL. Thank you. And then get your phlebotomy license, and then
drive
just
and
combo deal.
Yeah.
Get a little extra for driving it there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how can businesses get involved? Like, what can they do? Can they host their own? Can they host drives in their or competitions within their building to like see who donates? I mean, you can only donate so many times a year, right? Every 6 months.
Right. Well, no, it's every 8 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Why am I every 56 days for whole blood, and then we have something called a Power Red donation, which is every 112 days, so twice that. Let me talk about a Power Red for a minute, and then I'll answer about the businesses, and thank you. Power Red is different from the whole blood donation in that we take the blood, and remember how I told you we spin it right there, and so we separate into those components. We give you back your plasma and your platelets, but we keep the red blood cells, and we do that again. So we get a double hit of red cells, return everything to you, along with saline, so you're hydrated. Afterward, you don't have to sit down for the snacks, but you still can. But we get a double hit of those the red blood cells. Remember how I said that's in traumas and surgeries and preemies, and so that's why those red cells are so important. It's a different kind of donation. Takes a little bit longer, but then you don't have to hang out in the snacking area, the canteen. So that's a really, really powerful donation. But getting back to their question about businesses, goodness, how can businesses help? Host blood drives. That's the biggest thing. We're always looking for new donors because we got to keep our donor supply fresh, right? Because people age out of it like a lot of things. And so we're always looking for new donors. So host blood drives or sponsor blood drives. It's something that the chamber does all the time. Sponsor a blood drive. You know, get behind somebody else who's having a blood drive. We'll make you a flyer, put your name and your logo on it if you want. Help us to drive traffic to our existing drives. Yeah.
And you are hosting an upcoming blood drive in the chamber area.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And so tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, we have a couple of drives coming up that are Pirates drives. So what does that mean? The Pirates have donated tickets to us. So
I thought you meant Johnny Depp.
Wrong pirate.
Wrong pirate. Darn.
Totally wrong. But they donated tickets to us for donors. So all donors who come in at these specific Pirates drives will get a voucher for 2 tickets. And we have one on June 30th at the Bridgeville Fire Department. I have another one on July 3rd at the Cameron Wellness Center in Washington. But there are a bunch of them around town. In fact, next week there are quite a few of them at PNC Park. But that's just the Pirates drives. We have blood drives going on every day. Every day.
Everywhere. And you highly suggest that they get an appointment before they come.
Thank you, Mandy.
You're so welcome. We were talking earlier.
Thank you. Yes, please, 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 if you're going to donate, schedule an appointment. Here's why. Do we like walk-ins? Heck yeah, we like walk-ins. But if the schedule's full and they're hopping and you happen to come in and they don't have any beds and they don't have staff they might have to ask you to come back or wait, or they might not be able to accommodate, and nobody wants to send away somebody who comes to donate. So please, 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 if you're going to
Because it's going to be hard for them to come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially a newbie. They're like,
Yeah.
I was brave enough to walk through the door,
You sent me away.
and I was having panic attacks in the parking lot, but, oh, I'm not doing it. Well, they're going to be like, whew. Like, I'm out of here. But we don't want that. We want them to schedule an appointment. There'll be a brief questionnaire, I know from experience. So just very easy, very light.
And you can do the questions on your phone.
And then you sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So anything else? Do you have any other questions that I can touch on?
How does one schedule an appointment if you're interested? Like, do you just call a number, go to a website? Maybe there's an app. Like, what's
We do
the
have an
process?
app for that.
Oh.
My goodness, imagine that. But
Okay.
yeah, Vitalent.org. You can go to Vitalent.org, find a blood drive near you, put in your zip code, whatever. That's an easy way to find blood drives. Yep. And schedule, and then the day of the blood drive, you can, on your phone, answer the questions ahead of time and save your little QR code that you get, and then just walk in and show that and save yourself
nice.
some time.
Wow.
Yeah.
But how to prepare? Oh, eat a good meal beforehand. Drink a lot of water. We talked about that. And
What about aftercare?
after, well, what we say is no caffeine beforehand, because that'll make the your blood thinner and makes it hard to do your donation. But afterward, don't drink alcohol, because
What? Might hit you a little harder.
no, they don't. They say not to do that. There are things, but there's no real after that you can't do. Like, you can't lift heavy weight for a short period of time. Oh,
Darn.
Oh, but it's pretty much simple. You're pretty much back to doing anything right away.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, no real impact.
Good. So anything else that I missed?
Yes, we're always looking for new people to host. If you are a business, if you are an organization, if you are somebody who has the capacity to host a blood drive, I'd love to talk with you. You can go to vitalent.org, or you can contact Mandy, and Mandy will get in touch with me.
I will. And you do both mobile and
Yes.
you can do so if you have a bigger space, they can actually set up in your
Yeah.
whatever room that you might have, being able to
Yes.
host everybody, or they have a mobile unit, but that's
Yes.
more limited, right?
They both have their pluses and minuses, right? Having a blood drive on site gives us more space, and maybe we can have more donors. A banquet hall is fabulous. You know,
Yeah.
big rooms are great, but we've worked in small rooms. But the Bloodmobile is perfect for a business that doesn't have a space, right? You've got a nice parking lot out front. We can park the bus there as long as we have access to your restrooms.
You're
Yeah.
okay. And like, do you do festivals?
You know what we found is that when you partner a blood drive with an event, it doesn't always work, right?
Yeah.
Because people are there for
Fun and
right, and so health fairs. Sometimes people want to partner it with that. Doesn't always work.
yeah.
But the blood drives that do the best are when people really get behind it. We were talking before, you were saying for colleges and universities, you make it fun, right? And your competition, that's what they do in high school.
I think you should tell the Hawaiian Punch story.
Okay. I did a blood drive at a high school, and the kids really got behind it. And they bought these blood bags on Amazon, because you can buy anything on Amazon, right? And they filled them with Hawaiian Punch. They filled them with Hawaiian Punch, and they sold them as a fundraiser. Yeah, so kids are walking around.
So if you really want to promote it with the younger generation,
Yes, right.
Hawaiian Punch is your go-to.
Do it.
That does make it fun.
Absolutely.
Good. And there's so much you can do to get your businesses and your employees involved, even if it's not one on your site or that you're hosting.
Yes.
You know, just getting them out there and giving them something for it. Be like, you can now we're off on Friday if you go to a blood drive during this week, or something like that to really help the community and then help save lives.
Businesses all offer different incentives to their employees. Some have PTO, some have gift cards. I mean, it's up to the business. Whatever
Sandwiches,
yeah,
cake,
pizza.
ooh, Starbucks cards. That's a good one. You can't drink it right after.
Don't drink it before.
Oh my gosh. Good. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. Hannah, great job asking you some pertinent questions I didn't think of.
Thank you.
We'll be sharing information, I know, definitely about the Bridgeville blood drive today.
No,
And
sharing it today.
Sharing
the blood drive
it.
is, June 30th.
it's coming up.
I'm scared. Yep.
No, we'll have that out there. And we'll have all of Sydnee's contact information should you want to host a blood drive. And we highly encourage you to get behind this. It's a great cause. And Sydnee's been great to help deliver the messages. She's always sending me stuff. And then I'm like, send it in a JPEG. I do that all the time. Can you send this? I don't have the thing. Anyway, but she's wonderful. And get behind her. Help her out. Help people save lives. And get your fellow coworkers to get behind it.
Yeah, please donate.
Good. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. And anytime, share your updates with us and we'll get it out through our chamber channels.
One thing I want to say.
Yes.
There are maybe this many people who are eligible to donate, but only this many do. And the number one reason people don't donate is nobody asked them.
I agree.
So we're asking.
We're asking
all of you out there, please consider donating. If you're afraid, it's simple and it saves lives.
And they're very good at it. Mm-hmm. It's not as bad as you think.
All right.
Good. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Southwestern PA Business Podcast. We'll share all of the information with Vitalent on our social media channels, and we look forward to seeing you on our next episode. Thanks.